Ron DeSantis in Florida, he sent teachers to a civics class, and they were teaching that George Washington and Thomas Jefferson were anti-slavery.
Ron DeSantis has the idea. Let's put it that way.
But they did own slaves.
Well,
I'm sorry.
They did own slaves, but they knew that
honestly, things were different back then.
But do you think that it should be taught that they didn't support slavery?
Correct. And that's what the
You're saying they did not support slavery.
They did not. That's why
I don't know.
But they owned slaves.
I'd be damned. This is the equivalent of someone saying, I know he killed a lot of people, but he's actually anti-murdering. All right. Obviously, they are unaware of the policies of DeSantis because they simply believe the rhetoric. You know who knows that? Governor Ron DeSantis. He is well aware that most people simply listen to his words, accept it as law, and continue about their day without understanding any of the policy dynamics behind it. And they're willing to change in real time what they actually believe, move the moral compass of their own ethics during one interview, just to ensure it can fit inside of the narrative of Ron DeSantis. Isn't that interesting? But you know who else? Who else does not understand his own policies? DeSantis.
Department of Education just complained to Duval County Sunday about a book about Roberto Clemente being kept off the shelves for months as they reviewed it.
That's politics, though. To be honest with you, come on. I mean, we know Roberto Clemente. I mean, seriously, that's politics. I think these school unions are involved with this. I mean, you guys can FOIA some of these communications. I guarantee you'll find some of that with the people that are doing it. So that's a joke, okay? You get something like that about a baseball player. First of all, I don't think parents are challenging that. I think they're doing it unilaterally to try to create an issue. But that can be resolved in about 2 minutes to be able to do that. And our Department of Education will be working, very quickly if they need any type of advice on that. But none of these things, 99% of this stuff is manufactured. It's not what you need to be spending time on.
Lies, Governor, you're full of them. You do not know how your policies are impacting everyday school systems in your state? I'm sure you do. But I have the receipts just in case your staff of attorneys, executive team, your employees, your research team, and your legislators are unable to find it. Yes, because of the governor's policies, books about Roberto Clemente were taken away because now a teacher can be charged with a third-degree felony if they bring in a book not vetted and approved through the bureaucracy set up by the political powers that be. County officials say books about historical Black and Hispanic figures were under review, including books on Roberto Clemente, a Puerto Rican baseball player who became a Major League Baseball icon despite facing racism and segregation in his career, as well as Hank Aaron, a Black baseball player who holds the second highest total of home runs in history and was outspoken against racial discrimination. However, officials say these books have been approved and were back on shelves. Other books pulled. The report by the anti-censorship group PEN America claims other titles under review include a book about Celia Cruz, a Cuban singer known as the Queen of Salsa, as well was also removed from shelves. PEN America I've also found as well as a book about the Supreme Court Associate Sotomayor, the first Hispanic and the third woman to serve on the court, was also reported by PEN America to be under review. And more than 1 million books in Duval County schools in Florida were subject to review due to 3 state laws impacting certain subjects in education, including race, gender, and sexual orientation, according to county officials and their discussions with ABC News. What is this? What is this? This is the modern day equivalence of book burning. okay? Stopping the flow of information and knowledge. Please understand, the only people who are afraid of individuals making their own decisions are the people who will limit the information you have to choose from. You see, information creates overview, your perspective on things. We are a combination of 3 E's: experiences, exposures, and environments. If you can manipulate those 3 E's, you manipulate the social outcome of a person's thought process. And that is exactly what DeSantis is doing. Ben, thoughts here?
I'm just confused on the math here. So a straight white governor creates laws, signs into law, laws that make you have to review books about anyone who's not straight or white. Basically. Interesting. Am I putting that together? Is that a coincidence, or is that you think maybe on purpose? I love how Ron DeSantis and Love said very sarcastically, says at the end of that statement, 99% of these things are manufactured and should not be covered. He should be saying that to himself in the mirror. 99% of what he focuses on is manufactured and should not be covered by a governor of a state where there are real issues and real people who need real governing, not posturing for a presidential campaign coming up where he mimics Donald Trump's hand movements and general malaise and hatred towards anything that is good and normal. How dare he try to play it off like this is just something being manufactured? Yeah, by him, manufactured by this hateful man. And these are the consequences of his laws. And then he says, oh, you can't look at the consequences. Just look at the law in theory as I present it so I can get headlines, and don't look at how it affects people. Don't look at the fact that it has led to, even temporarily, the book of the first Caribbean man, first Latin American man inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame from being taken off the shelves. A man who died in a plane crash while going to deliver aid to victims of the Nicaraguan earthquake. A man there's an award, the Roberto Clemente Award, named after him because he best exemplifies the game of baseball, sportsmanship, community involvement, and the individual's contribution to a team. Take that off the shelves. But I bet you the Ron DeSantis autobiography is doing just fine.
There it is.
And
Absolutely
the good liars do it again and kill it again perfectly with that interview with these 2 MAGA hat wearing morons. I love seeing their brains break in real time when they say, yep, the founding fathers were anti-slavery, but they had slaves. Yeah, but
right.
Brain
does
broke.
not compute.
Nope.